those who were here like last time. All right, so we are the ones that couldn't afford to go away for this week between all the holidays. We're the ones that, making sure that the country's economy is turning over. And so welcome. And I'm sure that this morning you're really going to enjoy the subject. I said to Stephen that half the people are on holiday. That could be a good sign. It means that they're making a lot of money. Somebody is making money because they can afford to be away. So it goes to show that even in these hard times of ours, some of us are spending and the rest of us are saving. Is that right? Okay, great. So I had the privilege when I got that first job of mine in the early 70s. In fact, it was in 1970. My employer, Derek Robb, I was so fortunate that I went to work for this man because he taught me so much. So the first thing that he did to me, he said to me, "Charles, you need to go on a sales course." And you won't believe what the subject matter was. It was studying what people's faces look like. That's very rude. Sorry about that. I'd forgotten that I have not heard. But studying people's faces and establishing what kind of personality the individual has, which would then help you in your business life, in sales and so on. So I think it is quite fantastic that Stephen is here today, and he's going to explain to us how relationships, how one can have a better relationship if you have this knowledge. So it gives me great pleasure this morning to invite Stephen to come and spend his words of wisdom with us.
Thank you, Sean.
The floor is yours.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Could I have a quick show of hands? Who of you are business owners? Fantastic. And how many of you are in important relationships? I'd say so. May I just also, could we have a little honest moment right now? How many of you have an important relationship in your life that you're struggling with? Right, so how many of you are married? Because maybe we should start there, right? Thank you. I am going to give you some insights today into some incredibly interesting information. I was exposed to this about 20 years ago, and I know that if there are 100 people in the room, generally only one person would have been exposed to it before. So today we are blessed. We've got Charles as well as Marlene who have been exposed to it. But I would imagine that very few of you have seen this the way I'm going to show you today. So if I had a tool that I could give you today that would help you to get into instant rapport with the people that are important to you, would that be helpful? All right. If I could give you a tool that you could look at somebody's face and have a quick look, a quick evaluation, and then optimize that meeting. Would that be helpful? How many of you have ever had an important meeting with a person for the first time and you just were so scared, so nervous because you did not know what to expect? Anyone have that here? So imagine you could go find that person's name, go onto LinkedIn, get a photograph of them, take Stephen's notes, right, and have a look at their faces and actually have a strategy on how to get into that person's mind and into rapport with them as you meet them. Could that help you in your businesses? Fantastic. So could I have just your permission, 2 minutes, just to introduce myself? Thank you. So I wake up every morning and I wonder about the meaning of life. I wonder what this is all about, why we're here. I wonder about natural law, universal law, God's laws, and I wonder how we can eke out a better living for ourselves. I wonder how I can fulfill my wife's needs so well that she doesn't subcontract them out to anyone else, right? And thank you. And I wonder how I can bring my daughter up so that one day eventually when she does leave home, she's 22 now, that she'll be a nice balance of beautiful, warm, nurturing, cuddly, womanly, as well as streetwise, because we have landed on a strange planet this time round, right? So I've studied with some of the best minds in the world. When there's a master in town, I go and spend time with him or her. I've read books, the people that have passed before, the masters, I've read up on them, and I've tried to just synthesize that into something that works for me. I love the Starfish Foundation story. Who knows the Starfish Foundation story? All right, there's somebody on the beach, and a whole bunch of starfish have washed up, right? But like thousands, and they one by one, they throw the starfish back into the sea, and somebody comes up and goes, there's so many starfish here, you can't make a difference. And they pick one up and they throw it into the water and they go, it sure made a difference to that one. And that's really what I'm here for today. If I can make a difference to just one of you today, we can go squat me up, beam me, my work here is done, right? I also believe that if you have a hot bath and you just put like a scalding hot bath, you put one drop of cold water into that bath, does the temperature change? Yeah, it changes slightly. So this is what it's about. It's changing paradigms, helping people to better enjoy their lives. So can I have a quick survey with you? Just answer quietly to yourself. I just want to talk about relationships, and I'd like you to be 100% honest with yourself today. Just have a look at the relationships in your life. Firstly, with your maker, whatever you deem he, she, or it to be, your parents, children, siblings, your spouse, your boss, your employees, your suppliers. And would you agree that if you looked at those and evaluated them on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, we're not really great at relationships, are we? If you see that the divorce rate is 52%, and we don't marry everyone we date, we're failing at about 95% of our relationships. And now this is the key to just about everything. In my opinion, if you master relationships, you master everything. And the people who have really made it in life are those people who have been able to somehow master relationships, manage teams, work with people, get into rapport with them, and get the best out of them. So I want you to go back, for some of us it'll be 40 or 50 years, right? Go back to your first love. Go back to that time when you were falling in love with a boy or a girl. In my day, we didn't have WhatsApp, right? We had to write little notes and send them along the way and hope nobody read them. And for goodness sake, we hope the teacher never found, because they would read it out to everyone and embarrass us. But remember that time you were falling in love and you got that response, or the first time you held hands, the first kiss you had. That feeling of rapport, that feeling of closeness and togetherness, that's what we're trying to achieve in our relationships. So as I have progressed, so I started a couple of years ago in a past lifetime. It feels like I ended up as the brand manager for Ultra Cities at Shell. I worked for 8 or 10 years for the BTG Group as a sales manager, and I always tried to work out what was it with that one salesman. You all see that in your company. You've got 20% of your salesmen bringing 80% of the business. What is it? And to me, the key for me is I found that nobody ever bought something from me that didn't like me, that didn't find some rapport. We always buy from someone that we like or we find some rapport with. Even a grudge purchase. If you go to a petrol station and you get bad service, you go somewhere else. Even insurance. If you don't like Discovery, you go to Liberty. You find a company that you're more in rapport. So I want to just give you, I've got about 25 minutes, give you some amazing insights into building rapport. So from an NLP perspective, I'm sure you've had 1 million people stand up and speak about mirroring and matching and physiology, and that we have visual, auditory and kinesthetic modes that you can mirror, and physiology, etc. This is one step beyond that. That's from another model or module. This one here is around faces. Do you know that your face changes over time? I know the ladies are going to say, yeah, really, Stephen, obviously, right? But what actually happens is, if you are focused, your eyes actually get closer and closer to your nose because you are used to focusing on something. And if you're more strategic and big picture, your eyes actually move wider and wider so that you can see the big picture. Now, when two people are in a room and discussing something, and one of them's big picture and strategic, and the other's focused, they are annoying each other for that entire meeting. The one wants more facts and figures and focus, and the other one wants more outcomes. All right, so imagine you knew. Now, in every relationship, somebody once said, every relationship is a fight for power. Interesting. So in every relationship you have, you need to know, are you the underdog or the overdog? Where does the power lie? The outcome of the meeting, is it more important to you or more important to them? That's where the power is. Now, if it's more important to you, you need to get into that meeting and optimize it to the best of your ability. So if you are a focused person and you're meeting with someone who's more big picture, you need to get out of your own comfort zone and your own normal way of communicating and get into that person and give them more strategic stuff, even though you're dying to give them more and more detail. So let's have a look. I love the yin yang symbol, and we're going to look a little bit around personal mastery, because before you can master others, you need to master yourself. I love the yin yang. That gives us a feel of what rapport is all about, but also that we are different. The first thing we need to do is understand ourselves, and then understand that every single person on earth is actually different to us. In my opinion, if there are 7 billion people on earth, there's 7 billion skin colors, 7 billion religions, 7 billion sexual preferences. There are 7 billion different individual human beings. And the biggest mistake we make in relationships is we expect other people to live in our paradigm. We need to get out of our paradigm into theirs. Who of you are married? Awesome. Single? And the ones married acting single? Oh, no one's going to admit that today, right? So let's have a look. In our relationships, we try to make our partner more like us, rather than understanding. Charles will tell you all, there's no structure in any successful company that's MD, 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 MD. There's always MD, HR, sales, marketing, finance and ops, right? And those differences make them a team. In a marriage, it's the same. In every single relationship, it's exactly the same. It's your differences that are important and make you more. So if you are cat lovers, that's what rapport looks like to the cat lovers. And what we're really trying to do is find a way of matching and becoming the other piece of the puzzle for someone else's jigsaw. So here we go. Here's the first one. I spoke about this already. And if you look at the eyes, the closer to the nose, the more focused. And the broader, the more strategic. So each of you have a mirror on the table. Why don't you take that out? And why don't you just quickly just have a look at yourself and see if your eyes are close to each other, which would make you much more focused, or if they're more wide apart and more big picture, more strategic. All right, ladies, you can fix your makeup right now. And then just look around the table. Look around your table and find the person who has the eyes widest apart and the eyes closest. All right, you have to get very present with each other as you do that. Fantastic, thank you. So, when you're working with a person who's focused, give them more detail, give them more focus, give them more details that they can understand what it is you're speaking about. And if you're with someone who's more big picture, just give them the bigger, broader outlines. If this person reports to you, someone with a big picture, just give them an instruction and let them get on with it. Somebody who is more focused, they'll want to come back and confirm with you and get detail over time. All right. Oh, gosh. That went a bit fast. My apologies. So here we go. So once again, the guy on your left, closer eyes. The guy on the right, more big picture. So the next one is eyebrows. So when you sit with somebody and you sit down, you can actually tell immediately whether they're informal or formal. All right. So the lower eyebrows are more informal, and the higher eyebrows are more formal. So immediately, like for those of you who are married, acting single and not admitting it, if you're in a pub or somewhere and there's a pretty girl or a pretty boy and the eyebrows are low, you can go, can I buy you a beer? Okay? If they're higher, you're going to have to go, good evening, my name's Stephen, and you look really lovely, and I was just wondering on the off chance if I could buy you a drink, right? Also, if you're working with informal people, they'll be happy to work off the back of a Gunston 30 box, right? Or just on a pen and paper and just scribbling around. The more formal, they're going to want an agenda. Do you know those people? And they want a little PowerPoint presentation, and they want it formalized. So if it's important enough to you, find out, just have a look at the eyebrows, get a photograph if you need to, and find out if they're formal or informal, and change your presentation and the meeting to that. So have a quick look at yourselves. Have a quick look at your eyebrows. I'll show you are more informal, easygoing, down to earth, approachable. Okay, higher eyebrows. You need to earn the right to get into their aura. Right. Oh, yeah. So have a look around the table. Who's got the high eyebrows? And it's quite strange because you're actually friendly, outgoing, easygoing, but you probably like the business. Yeah. All right, so you're getting some insights into yourself. Right, have a look how high that guy's eyebrows are. Very, very formal. Right, if they have no eyebrows, just move along and look for something else. And guys, if she looks at you like this, she's not interested in business. And, oh gosh. And if she looks at you like that, run, she's a vampire. Right, I love this picture for two reasons. So we look at the lips. Firstly, we're looking at the top lip. But this is the same lady with different lipstick. All right, so you need to be careful when you're working with people that it's not Botox that's giving them that look, or filler in their lips, or the lipstick that's making it look like that. But have a look, top lip. If you have a thin top lip, just have a look in the mirror at yourself. If you have a thin top lip, or your partner does, you'll probably find their sentences are short, sweet, to the point, not airy-fairy, not overly emotional. Right? If you have the thin top lip and you're in a relationship, please go home tonight or on the way home, phone your partner and go, I love you because this and this and this, and because of this and this and this, and because you generally will probably say, I love you, and think that's enough. All right, you need to get a little bit more emotional, a little bit more flowery, and a little bit more expressive. If you have a thick top lip, then you are much more expressive, emotional, etc., etc. So, very often people ask me, how about races? Okay, and how does this work? This has an 88% accuracy worldwide through every culture, race. All right. So if you think, for example, of African people, often they have a thicker top lip. All right, and they are the great storytellers. They tell the stories. They've got all the emotion, all of the beautiful stuff in those stories. So absolutely accurate. So if you're with somebody with thin lips, it's actually quite cool because they're going to speak to you, and what they say is exactly what they mean. Because it's well thought out. The sentences are short, sweet, to the point, and well thought out. Whereas people with a thick lip will speak more and might be thinking as they speak, right? Remember also that we've got to get this into context. Thinner lips will speak a little more, thick lips a little thinner, a little less thick, more. But girls or women generally have more to words than men. So has anyone seen Defending the Caveman? I've seen it 10 times. It's absolute marriage counseling. Absolutely fantastic. All right, so have a look at the bottom lip. The bottom lip relates to generosity. So we're all generous in our own different ways, right? But a thick bottom lip, you're generous with everyone. You'll give money to pump attendants and cashiers and at the traffic lights, etc. Whereas a thin bottom lip, you'll leave a lot of money to your children in a trust when you die. Okay, so it's much, your generosity is more specific. So if you are asking for a donation and you meet this guy on the right, just go, thanks for the cup of tea, it's been really nice meeting you. Is there anyone in your organization with a thick bottom lip? Because you're going to get nothing. All right, so the thicker bottom lip, once again, if we look at African people, very often nice big thick lips, very generous. You know, the theory of Ubuntu. We are because everyone is. and very generous and giving. So once again, it moves across all cultures. Oh gosh, we really are struggling here today. My apologies. Right, if she looks like that, you can't read the lips, right? And if they look like this, then some of that stuff that you bought on the corner was better than you expected. This is a magic one, all right? If you're able to get close and you're able to feel the hair, or if you can have a look at the person's hair. Right. Try not to get clapped, okay? I come from the south of Joburg, we're used to that, but over here, you might not be used to it. So, yeah, well, thank you, Molly. If you were to meet with me, right, what you would do is you would undo my buttons over there and then just run your hand through my chest hair and feel if it's thick or not. All right, so actually the coarseness of your hair is exactly your personality. If your hair is fine, so won't you all feel your own hair, please? If it's more fine, then it's probably more fine and dainty. When it's the more coarse hair, you're more down to earth, salt of the earth, easygoing. So with this lady here, I'm going through, yeah, this lady here, fine hair, fine makeup, fine jewelry. I'd be very, very careful initially. I'd mind my P's and Q's. Be very, very sophisticated, no swear words, until she got to know me, and then I would unleash my full personality on her and let her have it from the beginning. The lady on the right, more coarse hair, all right, down to earth, easygoing. You can let go of some of your inhibitions and just be yourself with her. So, right, have a look at the actual nostril size. So have you all felt your hair? I'm not going to ask you to feel each other's hair in this environment, but if there's someone that, just go home and feel your partner's hair and understand their personality from that. Right, so have a look at the actual nostril size, all right? So the more pinched nostrils, you will ask you other reliant. So if you have a staff member that's always in your office, I'm doing this, am I on the right track? Am I on the right track? Am I on the right track? Or if you have a child that's always asking for confirmation, you'll probably find they have the more pinched nose. It's just how they are. And if you look at catwalk models and many movie stars, you actually find that they have pinched noses. They've got scripts. They're told exactly what to say, where to walk, what to do. They're not reliant at all. Now, if you have the big flared nostrils, that is self-reliant. It's actually fiercely independent. So my wife and I both have that. We are so fiercely independent, we fight half the time, okay? And we've been together 28 years, married this year for 25, my daughter's 22, and I reckon I'm still with her because of all the hassle she gives me. She keeps me on my toes, she's fiercely independent. If I say something, she'll go, no, the absolute opposite. She calls me on every single thing because we're so fiercely independent. So have a look at your own nostrils in the mirror, and you'll just get a feel for yourself. If you find you've got the pinched nostrils, you probably like to communicate with people, go into committees, get confirmation from everyone on big issues. If you have an employee, like let's say for example you open in an office in Cape Town. When you interview this person, you need someone with flared nostrils because you're sending them there to open a branch and run it on their own. If they have the pinched nostrils, they're going to drive you mad. You're going to be on Skype half the day just helping them to do that. So you need someone independent for a job like that. So, lady on the right, pinched nostrils, other reliant. Have a look at the shape of the face. So the more soccer face or the rounder face is more confident, and the thinner, more rugby ball face is less confident. So you can see the lady on the left would probably be very comfortable doing a presentation to the board, whereas the lady on the right, she's going to be less confident and may need a little bit more assistance. So if you have someone, if you're working with someone or you have someone in the office and they go, oh, I really don't want to present, and they've got the thinner, longer face, that's just their personality. They're going to need a lot of help from you. Ladies, if he looks anything like this, nothing I teach you is going to help. Right, so let's look for the obvious, because very often, people come in and they present, and often delegates will say, oh, it was a fantastic, we were all motivated and we left, and then a week later we knew nothing, right? So now I'm going to test you on your knowledge, and I'm going to ask you all to tell me what's going on here. So if you were to meet this guy, what would be obvious? Okay, yes, so first, rugby ball face, less confident. Pardon? Thin top lip, yes, so his sentences will be short, sweet, to the point. Yes, very focused eyes. Alright. Right, the reason I bring this one up, you may look at his hair and believe that it's coarse, but that might just be gel. Alright, so just be careful. Ladies, you've got to run your hands through his hair just to make sure. Right, what would you say about this face? Yes, so he's got the longer face. So I want to draw your attention to this fulcrum here. The fulcrum's from the nose to the top lip. Alright, so this is beautiful. And when you meet somebody and they've got a little short fulcrum like this, don't try and tell any jokes, they don't get it. Okay, this is the sense of humor. Right. So, thank you. The guys with the longer fulcrum, they have the dark, Savannah dry, witty stuff. So you can be witty and that, all of those little side remarks, and they get it. All right. So have you ever told somebody your best joke and they just look at you? All right. Afterwards, you just look at the fulcrum and go, ah, that's their personality. I am actually hell of a funny. Right. Fine hair, fine jewelry. So be careful. Yeah, look at that top lip, very thin. It's going to speak less. If you meet this lady, you're going to have to do the open-ended questions to get her speaking. But when she does speak, short, sweet, to the point, and meaningful. Right. Have a look at those low eyebrows. Okay, very, very informal. Very informal. So, right, all of the married people, can you visualize your spouse? Can you visualize his or her ears? Right. So, the ears that are flared, more domineering. The ears that are back, more submissive. Okay, my wife's ears are flared and I'm submissive, so even though we're fiercely independent, she wins all the time because she's more assertive than me, right? So, when you meet somebody, have a look at his ears. This guy's incredibly assertive. All right? Nothing wrong with that. Have a look at your ears quickly. Nothing wrong with assertive. We love assertive people. They get things done and they get it done quickly and they get it done their way, and you give them a task and it works. There's nothing wrong with that. All right? And also there's nothing wrong with submissive. We need some Indians as well as the chiefs. So when you meet someone with flared ears, just know you're going to have to fight your way through that relationship or that meeting. They're going to be quite assertive. Anything else on this guy? When it's a little baby like that, we just kiss it, right? Oh gosh. All right. So, any questions? If you have a look in your mirrors and you look at your face and you see something interesting, is there anything that comes up you'd like to ask about, or is there any question you'd like to ask relating to anything I've shared already? Yes, thank you. Would you mind standing up, giving us your name, shouting quite loud, be assertive, and yes, ask the question.
What I would like to find out, I understand all the basics and the features that you spoke about, but what I want to know is it possible for one to be trained to be something else? Like we were laughing at my table when you spoke about eyebrows and all that. And I looked at mine and I thought, yes, they are low, but I am talent performer.
Yes.
Talent performer.
Of
So
course.
I'm asking myself, if I'm supposed to be like that and I'm something completely different, is it because of training or is it because of experiences in life, then you just gradually change?
Thank you. That's an awesome question. So firstly, this is 88% correct. So that might just be in the 12% that's not correct. Okay, so you can just look at it that way. The other way is, yes, you can be something at work and something different at home. All right, so you may need to just look at where you are very, very formal, but maybe in your natural environment when you're at home, you are actually more informal and easygoing. And then, yes, of course, we do override our own natural instincts when we have to do a task that requires. So if you're in a very formal environment, it doesn't matter if you're informal. You have to change to be in the environment you're in. Yes. Yeah, thank you. There was another question. Yes, thank you. Good morning.
Just the color of the eyes, is that something?
No, nothing specific. Other than if you've got blue eyes, you're probably sensitive to light. Yeah, no, the color has nothing to do with it. But if you look at somebody's eyes and they slanting down this way, they are perfectionists. All right, so most of us are kind of like this, but if they're slanting down, those are perfectionist eyes. You'll see them. There are more pictures in the brochure I've left you. And if you like a book, I have some books as well that you're welcome to take home and obviously pay me for. Also, have a look at eyebrows. If you have this little peak over here, this little teepee, yeah, those people are creative. That's the creative eyebrow. All right? And so when you're dealing with that person, if you're in a sales environment, help them put the proposal together. Let them get creative with you. Just get involved and allow them to work the process through with you. So it's a little teepee on the eyebrow here. Also, I want to just talk about noses again. If you look at my nose from the profile, all right? Good luck, I hope you can all see that. I've got the ski slope nose. And Shoal, that's actually the Serbian nose, all right? And excuse me for this, but the more concave or convex nose, right, the Jewish nose, that person is good with money. It's just one of those things. And right, very often Jewish people are good with money. All right. So I actually had to go spend a whole year with Action Coach, and my coach forced me to charge more for what I do because I just want to get out here and share my knowledge. I love it so much, I'll do it for free. All right. So I had to get trained actually to charge more for the stuff I do. All right, and then there's the snobby nose, you know, the one that points up, actually is very trusting, and the nose that's down is very skeptical. All right, so once again, with huge power comes huge responsibility, because you can use this for good or for bad, right? I'm looking at all of your auras and you seem okay to me on face value, but please just be careful how you work with it. So if you're able to have a look at your own nose, if you've got what we would call the snobby nose, you're actually very, very trusting, and you need to be careful because you could be naive and gullible, all right? And if you've got the very down nose, you're very skeptical, you may be missing out on a whole bunch of opportunities because you're overly skeptical. So you'll find those pictures in the little brochures as well. Right, any more questions? Thank you, yes, Sean.
The shape of the chin?
Yeah, thank you. So, firstly, the chin that juts out a little bit, okay, extremely loyal. Extremely loyal. So those of you married acting single, right, if you're looking at someone else's wife and they've got the jutty out chin, she's not going to have an affair with you. She'll actually be loyal to your wife, all right? All right? So that's the loyal chin, thank you. And then the square jaw. People with the square jaws, anyway, oh, you've got one. Would you mind standing up? And then you see that's quite square. He will die for a cause. Okay, he is so loyal to a specific cause. So I don't know, the other day, there's a good chance if you were anti-Zuma that you were in the streets with a little placard, Zuma must go, and part of that whole thing, because you take causes incredibly seriously. So yes, the more jutty out one is loyal, and the square one is loyal to a cause. Thank you, Charles. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes, thank you. Why don't you stand up, give us your name?
Hi there.
Yes.